tell us what you did get from your past life regression.
When you talked us down into it, the first thing I was aware of was a feeling of being a space in a tropical rainforest.
Oh yeah.
And I thought I was standing in it, but when I sort of felt into it, it was like I was that actual space. And then when you said look down at your feet, I kept moving a little bit forward, and then I looked down and my feet were very dark and very male. Had no hair on my legs. And when you said to look at my reflection, I had black frizzy hair and a little bit of facial hair. And the word Africa came. But it was a very tropical vegetation, like I would expect to see up north here. And I felt very attached to my wife and children, and the face of my current daughter presented itself. But I knew instinctively that I had to detach from all of that. And so I walked into the river to meet death in order to find that intrinsic call to life, so as to live a more authentic, guided from within life, a life of spirit. So it was like I took myself into the river, knowing that if I didn't come out it would be okay, but if I did come out it would be because life had called me back. Then I returned back to my wife, but the love that I felt for her then was pure. It wasn't possessive, and it was absent of possessiveness. And it felt like I had more deeply connected to her, as though she and I were one, and she was no longer a missing piece of me. So I loved her enough for her to be free to do whatever she needed to do, because I felt whole in and through loving her. And I had a feeling of being about to step into, like all of that had to happen, because I was going to be stepping into a position of power and responsibility within the tribe. So I had to be able to listen and hear the guidance of spirit instead of being attached to being dependent on the people or the individuals outside. I don't know what happened there. The next thing I saw was a chariot, and someone madly waving this sword about, fighting with lightning. And I heard someone call Arjuna. And I thought, that's my name, and I'm fighting the elements. I'm learning about the elements and what it is to be human, and dealing with all the emotions and the lightning and thunder that moves in us as human beings. And the next thing was really strange, because I was sitting with my friend who I live with. He was sitting on the toilet and he was releasing this purple bowel motion. And I was just sitting with him while he was doing that. Just don't know what that was about either. Then I felt present in my body, and I could hear that tapping, and I thought that's keeping me present. And so in acknowledging that sound as part of it, it felt like it allowed me to go deeper. And I got flashes then of things, but not stories. But I got a picture of a Rubik's Cube. When you said about go up to the higher and bring it down, and I can't even remember what you said, but I got an image of a Rubik's Cube that was covered over by this mesh, and the Rubik Cube was going like being adjusted, and it was underneath the mesh, but I just know that the mesh is what secures the new calibration, and it dissolves once the changes are integrated and complete. So there's something holding that in place on a very deep level. Yeah, while all of that
While what was
happens.
all recalibrated.
Yeah. I can't remember the last one. I can't quite get back to. I think that was when you started talking with Robin, and while I was trying to get that down, I was so focused on trying to get that down that the other just went back somewhere, wherever it came from. So maybe that will come back later. But it felt. I tried to bring in some awareness of relevance for this life now. And like the words I just got then were, it's an unfolding. You have to wait and see. It's not going to be created of the ego. It's going to be like that man who it becomes an outpouring of spirit, however that reveals itself.
Yeah, that our consciousness doesn't need to know.
Apparently not. No, because then I might try and think I know what it means and construct something instead of it being a natural outpouring.
Unfolding.
Yeah, so thank you.
Beautiful. Great. Well, we've got some more stuff to tap into with everyone.